Okie dokie, kids. How is everyone? Let's get straight into it. So the first thing we're looking at now is, and we're going to just cover some on-chain, cover charts. I'm going to keep it relatively short, so it'll probably be about half an hour today. But the first thing we're looking at is on Wednesday, we've got the Fed meeting. So it's well, not the meeting, but the interest rate decision. So that comes out at 7 o'clock. So we expect it to go up 0.5%. Now, I've been calling this for a long time. So I think this 0.5% is what the market thinks and has priced in. Now, if we get a 0.75% raise, I think markets will come down quite considerably. So I don't rule this out. So the Fed is looking to bring down inflation. They've got the midterm elections in November. They need to bring down inflation now. So be aggressive in their rate rises and their balance sheet normalization. And then once everything is crushed, they need to then be more accommodative before November. So you've got all of this to happen. I mean, these are usually like year-long things each. So the fact that you're gonna squeeze it all into like May, June, July, August, September, October, that's a 6-month period before November. You're squeezing all of that in. So they're likely going to smash it for 4 months, and then after that, that's when I think they'll start becoming accommodative again. And I think we'll see the bottom in the next 1 to 2 months. It'll be in this next 3 meetings where they'll go gun-ho, i.e. raising rates, normalising the balance sheet. The markets will become quite scared, and that's when we'll bottom. It's going to be sometime between now, it's in the next 1-2 weeks and in the next 12 weeks. It's somewhere in that period, but this is where the real money is made. The money is not made in, the bull market and trying to chase the next pump. That's not where the money is made. The money is made by being here right now and understanding when this is going to bottom and buying there and holding there and leaving it, basically. That's where the money is going to be made. So this decision on Wednesday is really important. If you have a 0.5% and they say that with the balance sheet they're not going to be ridiculously aggressive, then we might see a brief rally. So this is really important. The whole market hinges on this stuff at the moment. It's all to do with the Fed. So I can look at on-chain, I can look at charts. So it's Fed decision making is the number one thing right now. Then it's on-chain data, then it's chart technicals. So that just shows you when I get suggestions for charts, they have to incorporate everything. And if the TA is really good, then great, the TA is good. But if it's not encompassing everything else, then it's almost redundant, it's pointless. So this stuff here is really important. So everyone sort of have your mind on this and be cautious between now and then, because you don't know what's going to happen. The market's likely going to be scared, and be cautious between now and then. So, it's important just to hold off between now and then. So let's look at the on-chain now. Go away. Okay, so exchange and position change are still seeing significant outflows. So this is still good, but let's look at the addresses. Zoom out a tad. So the balance of 0.01 is still increasing. Addresses with balance greater than 0.1 Bitcoin, still increasing. Addresses with balance greater than 1 Bitcoin, still increasing, but starting to become a bit exhausted, but it is still going up. Addresses with balance greater than 10 Bitcoin, not reclaimed these levels just yet, but it is on an uptrend. It's starting to look exhausted now, to be honest. So I could see this selling off again. Addresses with balance greater than 100. That's positive. That's definitely for sure. That's positive. It's better. I mean, it's not anything major or significant. You've gone from 15,916 to 15,940. It's literally. I don't even think. Just trying to think about that. I think it's 1/3 of a percentage point move. It's really nothing. Adjusted balance greater than 1K. Still okay. We know these big lines here, they were not organic. They were correct, but not organic. So overall, the smaller guys are still adding, the big guys are not. So that's really important to know. If the big guys are not adding, the big guys are not risking on, that's why we're struggling for liquidity, which is why all the charts, and you see the smaller cap the coin is, the less liquidity it has. So if you was to do a spreadsheet on from all-time highs, what coins are bleeding out the most, you would see that you would see that the Bitcoin and Ethereum is bleeding out far less than, say, the really small cap coins. The small cap coins are bleeding out significantly. So you're better off being in Bitcoin and Ethereum than you are anything else if you want to be holding some form of crypto. However, I would suggest USDT is the way forward for now. And I have been saying this since January, and we've been taking the trades here and there. You know, think if you'd been trading through the last 3 months, how your portfolio would look. It would be absolutely chopped to pieces. So this is the best thing to do. What we're looking at now also is active addresses and new addresses. So active addresses is starting to spike up. So this is good. But you know, when prices come down, there's going to be high activity. So it's not always a great thing. But what we want to see is it matched with new addresses. So this is okay. This is quite good. We need to see this come significantly higher though. I don't think we will. I think we'll see it sort of taper off again, because you know it's very similar to this move and this move. You know, they're just one-off bursts. So these are things, these are metrics to be watching out for when things are starting to bottom. Has this bottomed out? Are we starting to see increases again? These are the sort of real key things to be watching. Let's head to whale map quickly. Large wallet inflows. Again, anything above 50k is good. Looking in the bottom right hand corner, it says number of bitcoins. We'll see how many there is being bought. 8,000, 13,000, 53,000. So anything above 50k is good. So you've got one good buy. 18, 29, 20, 18, 3, 14, 41, 26, 10. It's okay. It's not great. Yeah, it's not great at all, really. We still have our eyes on the average cost basis of the addresses of Bitcoin wallets holding between 100 and 1,000 Bitcoin, greater than 1 Bitcoin, and between 1,000 and 10,000 Bitcoin is between 20 and 1 to 10 is all between 25,000 and 27,000. That's what we're waiting for. But I don't think we bounce there. I think we go below it. We have a 10, maybe 15, 20% big sort of capitulation event below it, nicking into sort of 20, 21, 22,000. So at this moment in time, let's start with Bitcoin. We have a new box. This is where I think you should fill some buy orders, but I would be filling and be prepared to fill from, say, 27,200 all the way down to about 18,000. So layer all of your orders. So, and I would do them, you know, I would allocate maybe 20, 25, 30% for in here, and then maybe 50, 60% in here. If we start to bounce, come down, have a new low, and we can hold 32,000, that might then show that we're creating a higher low. You can load up again then, but always try and sort of be close to catching the bottom. And if it goes down, you know, you don't want to be filling between 26,000, 24,000 really heavily, and we come all the way down to like 18 and then bounce to 22, you're still in a loss. So if the more you average down, the easier it is to not end up in a loss, even if it is only short-lived. Where if it's something that's long term, then it's just an unbelievable buy. So this is the thing that's really getting me excited, is being in here and trying to catch this bottom. So you're never going to catch it perfectly. You're going to have to play spot. I wouldn't play leverage. If at absolute best, I would say if you've got 10,000 USDT, go to your Binance, go to your FTX and borrow 30-40%. So if you've got 10,000, borrow another 3,000, 4,000. But to be, you know, you could be ultra safe and only borrow sort of 1,000, 2,000, and that would mean prices have to come back another 90% for you to be liquidated. So if you filled at an average price of 24, you would need prices to come all the way down to $2,400 before you got liquidated. So, you know, work it out in terms of however much you borrow is what your risk side is also. So, you know, can Bitcoin go to 10k? It's highly unlikely. So maybe work to a risk element of 5k. So if you're buying in an average price of 25, you can only suffer an 80% drawdown, which means you can only borrow 20% extra. So I can write a piece on this if people don't understand. Let me know in the chats or anything like that if you don't understand that. I'll try and explain it maybe in a spreadsheet or something in a quick 5-minute, 10-minute screencastify. But something like that could be hugely beneficial, especially if you're playing with big money, because you can buy a lot more of these things, or a lot more of these Bitcoins basically. But overall, let's zoom in. Let me know in the chats, either on YouTube or in Discord, and I'll cover that in a separate video if some of you don't understand it, and there's a chance you might not. So please say, don't be shy. Let's zoom in and have a look. That's too much. So I was looking at this area as the place to short. I was looking for like a potential short at 41. I don't know if we're going to get it. I think if the Fed decision is less aggressive, sorry, I've just seen a question. I don't know if the feature of lending is still banned in Binance EU. That's to do with your regulation. You're going to have to go away and research that on your own. It will change depending on where you're situated. So yeah, it depends on what regulation Binance cover in your home country. I don't know where you're from, and I'm not that clued up on the regulation outside of the UK, to be honest. So sorry, I can't help you on that one. It's something you will have to do on your own. But back to this. As I was going to say, I was looking for 41 to be a short area. However, if the Fed comes out and they do a 50 basis points rate rise and they're not as aggressive in tapering off the balance sheet, I can explain the borrowing thing in detail via a spreadsheet. I will do this on a screencastify in the next day or two, so don't worry about it. I will explain that. I was just trying to do a rough example, but yeah, I will explain that. That will be covered. I think if at this moment in time, the market is priced in 50 basis points and the Fed to be reasonably aggressive with the balance sheet normalization. So if they become ultra aggressive with balance sheet normalization and they raise by 75 basis points, which it's a slim chance, it's maybe at like a 10, 15, I'd say 20% is too high. It's maybe a 10, 15% chance of happening. If that does happen, markets will capitulate. If they only do 50 basis points, and I don't think they want to capitulate everything just yet. I think they'll do the normal 50 basis points rise, and I think they'll be pretty normal with the balance sheet. So I don't think they're going to say anything too shocking that we don't know already. And if we get that, we can get a slight increase, because all this stuff, all the professional investors have priced this in. They know what's going on. They're not sitting there thinking, oh, it's bad news, and then thinking things are going to go down. They'll be buying that, knowing that it can't get much worse than what they had prepared for. And if they prepared for it, the other professional guys have also prepared for it. So that there is your local bottom. So if you do get something that isn't too aggressive, they do stick to 50. If they do 25 basis points rise, I think the market will capitulate because they'll price it as a policy mistake. Where if they do 50 basis points, I think, and they're not so aggressive, you can get a move up, possibly even to like a 43, something like this, and that will be a phenomenal short, knowing they're going to go more aggressive on the next meeting. So that will be something to possibly look for, and we can try and long the Wednesday night decision. So that'll be really cool to see, really important to see, and yeah, let's go from there on it. Ethereum. So let's go to this. No target in this one for now. I'll update this Wednesday morning on the watch list, and I'll at everyone for it. But we know we have the Bitcoin one now, so Ethereum will be something similar. I think it's majoritarily going to be at this horizontal. I think you might get a wick below, but it might be, I think it's going to be anywhere from sort of a 1900 area, 2000 area, down to like a 1500. It's going to be anywhere in there, but I'll wait for more information to come in and price it in on Wednesday. For now, I think we're due a bit of relief, and I think the markets have been shocking. So sorry, let's go back to the SPX. So SPX has been selling off. Everyone is acting really frightened now. So I don't think the Fed can be ultra aggressive right here, and they can only do the 50 basis points. I think a really strong move might be to, before the news comes out, 5 minutes before, is long. And I'm sort of strongly considering it. If the news comes out and it's not what we expect, then just liquidate that position straight away and take the small loss. But I'm thinking the markets have sold off. The Fed will be watching this and say, look, we can't capitulate this here. It will just absolutely tank. So let's look at the NASDAQ as well. I think the Nasdaq ends up at like 10, 11,000 to be honest, as an absolute bottom. But you know, this has come right down. They need to see some sort of relief for the next month or so before the next Fed meeting, and then they can bring the markets down from a more positive spot. But right now, everyone's petrified, so they can't shake the markets any more than what they've already done. So I think Bitcoin and Ether, back to them, we can see if the policy is not too bad, we can see a brief relief rally. And it might only be for a couple of weeks again, because, you know, all the bad news is gone. I know you've still got the Russia-Ukraine situation, but, you know, a lot of the market making moves that people are scared of have been sort of stopped for a couple of weeks. So Bitcoin Wednesday evening could be a long on that 7 p.m. time, which we saw here. You can type in tradingeconomics.com, find this, and that's when the decision comes out. So it might be a couple of minutes before you long it. On Wednesday, people might be scared, so it could be a good opportunity. You're right at this downtrend line, squeezing into the pinpoint. So, you know, you could get some volatility here as well, which could be nice to see. Similar story to Ether. I did change the flag. So this is a new flag. The flag we had before was this, but I don't think it was good enough because I did. And this is what I mean. I know Harold sends me some of his charts. You can't So I did this. So I've attached these points here, but I didn't account for this wick here. And you have to account for everything. You really do. So I did something like this. And look, it didn't really break down because it wasn't accounting for all the information. So it was something like that, but it didn't break down because it's not a good enough, because you've got an invalid piece of information that doesn't make what you're looking at valid anymore. So you have to do the valid version. So we're sticking with this one now. Again, I think ETH could be a good long. I think the best long is probably Bitcoin, then Ether. I wouldn't bother playing anything else because everything else is gonna be less liquid. It's not going to run as much. There's going to be sell the rips rather than in Bitcoin and Ethereum. Investors might let the momentum continue a bit. So they'll just in this risk off period where markets are struggling, especially crypto markets are struggling, investors will feel more confident and safe of holding the asset if it's Bitcoin or ETH. If it's a, I don't know, bloody compound, they're not going to be, you know, sort of really confident to continue holding it for another week or so. And then we want to be selling sort of in this 3.2 range if we do buy it. And everyone else will be looking for it to go to sort of 3.7, break this high, and it just won't even get there probably at that point. So we'll be looking to take profits somewhere in here, probably look for a small short and be filling more orders if we go higher. I doubt we will, but I would then be looking for overall shorts to capitulate down to the overall bottom. And, you know, these are only a couple trades that will play out over a 6-week period, but that's where the real money is made. It's not made doing these chopping and changing trades. It's not. But yeah, that's where my head is at, Bitcoin and Ether wise. So, you know, let's see from there. Litecoin, you know, until it gets above 105, not interested. It's shown no strength at any point whatsoever, other than back at the Bitcoin all-time high, which is in here, and it did reasonably well. But for now, you know, I've had to create another line just because there was new supports and resistance because it was just so low. This will probably eventually get dropped from the list just because it's so bad. I'm just seeing if it can have a breakout here of some kind. It's possible. I'm not hugely confident. Well, we'll continue tracking that, but overall, I'd rather play something else. FTT. So it looked like it was trying to break this downtrend wedge, but as I said in the watches this morning, it's not the greatest wedge because you've only got 1, 2, 3 touches, but these two in here don't really count. They're basically the same. The downtrend, you had a movement probably there, then a squeeze above, then it moved to there, squeeze above, now it's moved to there. So overall, it's probably not too great. It can be anywhere in there really, but you know, I don't think I'm too confident on this. The RSI is not that oversold when you look how bad. Well, this coin's actually held up reasonably well, to be honest. So this would have been one of the better ones to hold. I think if we can get some form of like drop down in the next month, somewhere in like the low 34s area, it could even be very, very much lower, could be somewhere in here at 31. I think that would be a good long-term buy. So I'm going to, and FTT is one of those coins I want to accumulate. So that's one I am strongly considering. Solana, okay. For this could be one of those relief rally plays that we play on Wednesday. So what we're possibly looking at is this to come down, wick into here, touch off the 79 and go up, but create the bear div down here. That's what I think we'll struggle, but that's what we're ideally looking for. You want to get some movements up here in the next day so that when Wednesday comes, you can get a move down when people are scared, close the 12-hour candle at lunch, then possibly buy that and get a move up. If at 1 o'clock we get the confirmed bull div, I'll consider taking this. But be prepared at 7:01 when the news comes out to cut the trades straight away. Because if the news is, I mean, you'll see if the price starts tanking. If it's 0.75%, you'll see the price will start tanking and then just quickly liquidate. It's a high risk play, but it's one it's one that excites me and one I think I'll play. BNB battling with the 382 level. This is similar play to Solana. You want to see it come and touch, but at the same time, it's closed below this. Now can't really get above with much momentum. I think this ends up breaking down to 335. And that ends up being the main macro bottom. It would make sense if that was the main macro bottom as well, to be honest. But now we're in this like weird downtrend type channel, but it's not really a very good one. Yeah, just not really interested. As you can see, that they're all dirty charts at the moment. None of them are that clean. They don't provide lots of good data where a lot of signals you'd be looking for are in alignment with each other at any one time. You're constantly waiting on the information to slightly change so that you can get more better signals, so that as you get more better signals, you can think about taking a trade. But the signals never all align together or become strong enough together that it encourages you to take the trade. Just seen another. I check the mid perp? That's on the FTX exchange. I would have to log in, I think, unless I can add. It's not something I regularly look at, to be honest with you. I mean, I can check it, but yeah, that looks disastrous. That literally looks like it's at support. I can maybe do a bit on this on Wednesday or something, but I don't usually play this, so yeah, I don't usually play this. I can't really comment on it too much, to be honest. Matic. So Matic is one I am interested in. I like the fact we've had this little bit of a collapse. I did say at 124, we're probably going to go to 101, and it bounced perfectly twice. So that's obviously great to see. That my lines just, I don't know why, but they do seem to work quite nicely, which is good. I'd like to see us go into like to see us go into Wednesday with people being slightly more scared. This come down, touch this line again, close towards the line, or even maybe very slightly below. Get the bull div, and that might be worth a buy, especially if you're down here at an RSI of 29. I really think there's going to be some relief, because I think the Fed will watch the markets, particularly the SPX and the NASDAQ, and think, we can't capitulate this. We can't be too aggressive here. So I really think they have to do what they have to do, but they can't be overly aggressive more than what the market's priced in. So I think Wednesday we are going to have some nice opportunities coming. But again, don't play between now and then. It would literally just be gambling. Polkadot, a similar story, but it's not as low on the RSI. It does look pretty similar, but Matic has sold off more. To me, it just has, from 1.24 down to 1, that's a 20-odd% decline. 124, 10% is it's a 20-odd% decline. Polkadot has done from sort of here, 1659, only really a 10%, just over a 10% decline. So I think Matic is the play, because I think the bounce can be more, more ferocious. but a nice a setup that looks like it could play out quite nicely. Chainlink is just absolutely abysmal. Like, it really is on the brink at the moment. I mean, it's already on the brink, and we've been commenting before, like, it's just showing no strength whatsoever. This is not the best flag because you're not really accounting for all those ones there. You're just taking it, it's going to close there when we could easily just close below. But let's just watch this for now. But I think this is due relief. It really is. I mean, you've gone from, in the last month, well, sorry guys, my screen is just turned off. Can you guys still hear me? My monitor is still turned off. I need to maybe bring it over. Oh, this is so annoying. Ah, here we go. Okay, fixed it. I don't know why something came out. Should be working now. Oh, excellent. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. I'm not sure. I think the wire in the back just pulled out slightly. So let's back to Chainlink. I think this is due some relief, but at no point are you ever getting any relief. I mean, in this last month, we've gone from 18 down to 10. So you've done a sort of 40% decline in a month. It's quite considerable when Bitcoin in the last month, back to April, has only done a 20% decline. It's half the losses. So it's really important to know to be in these. And Chainlink isn't really even a mid cap. It probably should be considered one of the large caps. So again, it just shows you how important it is to either be in dollars or Bitcoin or Ether at worst. But I wouldn't be in any of these other coins, like holding them. Again, this one could be another bull div situation, and I think you've got a good chance of getting it. So AVAX, there could be some nice plays Wednesday, but it's not worth playing between now and then. It's understanding that the Fed have to be aggressive, but it's how aggressive are they? If they're overly aggressive, the market will capitulate. But they know they can't do that and capitulate the markets anymore, because look at the SPX and the Nasdaq at lows. We can't have this, so they'll probably allow some kind of relief in doing what the market thinks they're going to do, and that will give some very short-term momentum, which means they can raise rates again more aggressively in the next meeting rather than the meeting in 2 days' time. So I think Wednesday and AVAX is one of those ones you want to see it come down, bounce off here, get that bull div, and then pop and break these downtrends. I really think Wednesday we're going to have some good opportunities. And notice, if you go on crypto Twitter, most of the guys are just crapping it, basically thinking that everything's going to keep going down, blah blah. You have to anticipate what's going to happen, and we're a Fed driven market at the moment. So what can they do, what can't they do? Unless they just say, bugger it, we are going to capitulate everything. But that's not going to be any good for anyone. It's going to make their job even harder going forward. So I don't think that's going to happen. AVAX, we want to see it touch here or anywhere in here really, create that bull div, which we should get on the RSI, which would be really nice, and then break through the downtrend. And you could easily get a rally to like 72, 76 and get yourself a really nice 10-20% move, which on leverage would be 100-200%. So there could be some nice plays. I would steer clear from the ones as we go down the list and try and stick with the ones higher up in the list, because they're the large caps. They'll probably maintain some momentum. I've just seen a question. Jack's thoughts on KNC. Paul talked about it on the chat and it got me thinking. Okay, I think I have KNC. We have KNC. We'll come to it. Let's look at Luna now. Luna was the one I wanted to short, but it was at 84.5. It's now at 82, 81.98. I don't really want to short it here, and especially with my theory that the Fed are going to do what they're going to do, and we're going to have the opportunities on Wednesday. And I think there might be 2 trades on Wednesday. So be on the ball for that. That's what you've got to be prepared for. And notice the patience now. That's what will save us money. So Luna here, what I did want to short. I think overall plays wise, it's sort of out of support in here, which is quite nice. But I do think we're going to test down. I think this will be one of the ones that doesn't get the bull div, and therefore this won't attract liquidity. But this will have some weird run after, just because it's lunar, and it just always does. But this won't be one of the ones to play, because I don't think it will come down enough to get the bull div. But, you know, who knows? I could easily be wrong. Curve, I said the $2 level was inevitable, I think sometime last week. I think we've got to try and hold it. If you do capitulate below in the next day, or, you know, next sort of, what is it going to be, 36 hours or so, I think that just tells you all you need to know, really. So not too interested on Curve. So you've got Phantom. I did say Phantom was going to break down from 96, probably heading to 59 cent level, and, you know, it wasn't too far away. I would still bet this is going to head there. But notice how bad some of these coins are. So if this comes down to 59 cent, that's the area to potentially think about starting to accumulate some. I'd probably wait and see if it comes down to like 42. But we're starting to get close to these bottoms now. They're not going to be that far away. I think you could have one huge bleed out if Bitcoin does go to the 25k area, because everything else will just half again. So that would see Phantom go to like 42 probably, maybe even like wicking somewhere into here, you know, like the 37s, 35s. So yeah, let's see what we get. Keep assessing every day, because that's the most important part. ApeCoin. I did have a personal short on this, but I was willing to hold up to like a 28 move again. I closed somewhere in the 17s, which is obviously annoying. But anyway, this was something that was done over the weekend. So it was really high risk. I got quite lucky with it. This doesn't provide much data. This could be strong for a bounce play, but that we don't have loads of data to play with. So I'd rather play some of the bigger boys up here, than play ApeCoin. Especially now, I can't see so many more things coming out that will give them the hype that they got during this. So something to take note of. So look at Sand. Broke that 265 level. We were commenting for ages. And now at that sort of support there, it probably was an easier one there, but it failed that one. Let's see where we think this can go. So I think long-term wise, if Bitcoin goes to 25, this goes to 1. Sorry to scare any of you that are still bag holding this, but if Bitcoin does go to 25k, this is going to 1. Overall, it's a potential another bear flag to break down. Let me do that for you now. It's possibly already breaking down. And let's go through some of these. So yeah, I'm not interested in any of these small caps really. Let's look at near. That's a bear flag. Bear pennant. Do you remember? I don't know if you guys remember me drawing this, but I drew the pennants. I.e., what can I click on? They go like this. So you move up. You then go bang, 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 bang. Create that pennant-like formation, and then you break higher. If you've come from a down move, like this, you then might go bang, 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 create the pennant, and then down. It's exactly what happened here. Move down, create the pennant, move down. So here we're getting a bear flag. It's probably not a very good one. No, it's not a very good one, to be honest. Actually, it's a terrible one. I'm not going to consider that. What I would get, it did get extremely low. If you got a bear div, if you got a bull div on this one, this would have to be really low. I mean, it got all the way down to 24 on the 12-hour RSI, which is considerably low. If we look at the 4-hour, that should be even lower. No, 25. So sort of the same sort of area, but yeah, overall this might be worth a bounce play, but it's too small a cap. Again, it just sort of scares me off. Let's go to some of the ones. I know some of you play GMT, so let's look at that. If this has a bounce, this is worth shorting. So, I'm thinking this needs to bounce like 380, something like that. If we get a bounce of 380, that will be a short. Last one, KNC. Oh, Christ. Okay, let's chart this from scratch. You didn't get it there. You did get it there. You got it there. So you got there, perfect. So you got two bull divs after each other. This would have been a nice short. I wish you had alerted me to this sooner. It would have been nice. I don't usually look or play it, this coin, so I'm not that clued up on it. But that would have been quite a nice short, I think. Maybe someone did, and I was just being an idiot. But yeah, overall, I think this has to bounce at some point. So if this continues to bleed and hits the trend line over the next 36 hours, this could be worth a bounce play. Because is this getting volume? Is this getting liquidity at all? Yes. It's downtrending, which is not great, but overall it's had some liquidity, which is nice. I'd like to know more about this coin. I might look into this a bit more, but this might be worth a bounce play. It could be quite a nice bounce. So yeah, thanks for alerting me to this one. Let's like add this to the. I'm gonna move this up, and I'm gonna move GMT up. We're gonna keep them on the mid caps in not index, but list, because I don't think they're large caps at all. Let's add them to the bottom of this list actually, just because they're like on the radar. So these could be nice. Well, not so much GMT. If GMT goes to there, it could be the play. But for now, that's basically it. Let's look at Bitcoin. Overall, let's sit tight for the next, you've got another 24, 36 hours. Just sit tight for now. I would say let's wait for the Fed decision to happen. If it's what the market expects, I think a long is worthwhile. If it's not what the market expects, then I think we get capitulation. And if they price it too low, I think non-linear regression curve and see if the bottom band is probable. Look, I'm gonna have to like chart that from scratch rather than putting that up. So I can possibly add that in the next couple of days, but yeah, I'm not gonna do it on here live. It'll just take me a while. But yeah, if the Fed do a policy mistake of like 25 basis points, the markets will capitulate because they'll just be like, this Fed are absolutely useless. So that would be very bad. I think at most you want to see 50 basis points, normalization of the balance sheet, let the assets, let the mortgage-backed securities they have basically expire or come to maturity rather than the actual selling of them. That will be what we expect as like the best bet. My screen has just gone again. This is so annoying. I don't know why that keeps happening. But yeah, that's basically the end of the stream, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you all tomorrow. I'll put some on-chain data in there, but I think we've covered a fair bit today, and you now know my thought process on how we're going to treat the next few days. And that's important. So prepare yourselves for Wednesday evening, 7 o'clock. I'll make sure I'm on my laptop. We're assessing everything, and it might be worth buying these things just before. So and we might even buy some of them at the lunchtime when the 12-hour candle closes if we get those bull divs. So let's see how it goes. But I'm looking forward to the next sort of 48 hours to see how the cookie crumbles. But yeah, that's it. See you guys all tomorrow. Cheers, everyone.